Hey guys, aiveesaur here with a tips video on the airstrike and base jumper combo. Now I know, I'm pretty late on this. It's been like 3 months since the Love and War update, but better late than never, right? And I did play with both of these items right after the update, but they just didn't appeal to me that much at the time, so I stopped using them both. But recently I decided to experiment more with different loadouts, so I've played with the airstrike and base jumper a few times now and just wanted to share a few tips with you from what I've learned so far in my experience with this loadout. So first things first, let's just quickly go over both items. You've got the airstrike, which does 25% less damage, has a 25% smaller clip size, so you start off with only 3 rockets, but the clip size does increase by 1 rocket for each kill, reaching a maximum of 8 rockets. The airstrike also has a 15% less explosion radius, but it spams rockets like hell whenever you're rocket jumping. Then you've got the base jumper, which is just a parachute. Not much to say for that one. Okay, so the obvious goal here with the airstrike is to get at least 5 kills so you can maximize your clip size to 8 rockets. Now, because the airstrike does 25% less damage and also less AoE damage, the first couple of kills are going to be kind of hard. Depending on how you usually play soldier, you might feel inclined to just aim at your enemy's feet. This is a core soldier strategy or habit, whatever you want to call it, that you're going to have to break when you're using the airstrike. So that's tip number 1. Don't aim at their feet. Really try to land those direct hits when you're trying to get those first couple of kills to build your clip size. Because even if you're going against, say, a scout, it's going to take a solid 2 direct hit rockets to kill him if he's at good health. And as you'll see in this clip, I still had the habit of aiming at the feet to pop up the enemy. Typically, I would switch to the reserve shooter to shoot them while they're still popped up, but I couldn't really do that with the base jumper equipped. And had I just shot this medic, who you'll see here soon, directly instead of relying on the splash damage, I probably could have killed him with 2 or 3 rockets. Here, I'm trying to be a little bit more precise and hitting these engineers with direct rockets, and I think it worked out a little bit better. Tip number 2. This tip takes the base jumper into account, so instead of slowly shooting and trying to land direct rockets while you're on the ground, you can use the base jumper to keep yourself elevated longer and spam rockets. Being in the air increases your attack speed, but being in the air and spewing out rockets so quickly can make aiming a bit difficult when your target is moving. So tip number 2 is to not aim too early, for lack of a better word. You have to consider the direction you're moving and the direction your target is moving. Otherwise, you'll screw up like I did there and only the last rocket will hit your target. And a good way to work on your timing is to practice on TR walkway. Tip number 3. This is pretty obvious. Don't aim for more than one person. Not only does this minimize your chances of killing anybody, even if you do get kills, will probably be assists because chances are if your teammates see a group of enemies, they're all going to try and wipe out the group because that's what teams are supposed to do. But you're not a team player right now, okay? You don't want any assists because they'll most likely not go towards your kill count and then you just wasted a bunch of ammo for no reason. Alright, going off on that last tip, tip number 4 is to go for classes with lower health to get your first couple of kills. Snipers are particularly good because they usually just stand in one spot, which actually makes 2 Fort a very good map to practice on. And I guess you can consider this tip number 5, which is to practice on 2 Fort, or just practice in general, but 2 Fort is an especially good map. Whenever snipers come out onto this balcony area, I don't know what to call it, the first thing they usually look for is another sniper. So they'll tend to be too distracted with getting headshots to notice a soldier coming to rain down rockets on them. And speaking of practice, don't practice on a friendly fire server like I did. When you got rockets shooting that quickly, it's hard to adjust your aim, and by the time you do, you've probably killed your teammate. So don't do that. Alrighty, the last tip, number 6, is also kinda obvious, and that is to actually turn around and strafe while you're using the base jumper, because I've seen people use it and they just face forward and let themselves move completely straight in whatever direction their rocket jump projected them towards. So, very small tip, but it does make a difference. And those are all of the tips that I have for you. I hope you were able to learn at least one new thing, and if you have any tips or advice on how to use the airstrike and base jumper that I might have left out of this video, leave a comment and share your knowledge for the good of the TF2 community. Mostly just me. But actually, before I end this video, somebody please explain to me what happened here in this clip. So I got this one demo man here, just one, and I killed just one, but it registers as 2 kills? I don't know. I totally stole that spy's kill. I'm sorry.